Hello, Amador County. I'm Tom Slivick. Welcome to today's news. Let's take a look at our headlines. Sutter Creek OKs engineer work toward a potential regional wastewater project with Ione and CDCR. AFPD approved a preliminary budget for $2.9 million. Upcountry Council discussed fire insurance. Sutter Creek awards a $1.6 million Prospect Drive realignment project. And Upcountry libraries will have reduced hours but stay open in the new fiscal year, as supervisors said. And in the second half of the news, I'll speak with Amador High School's principal, Jared Critchfield, about his new position as the top administrator at Amador High. Stay with us. We'll have these stories when I return from the other side of the break. You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, TSPN. Hi everyone and welcome back. Sutter Creek City Council on Monday approved an engineer contract extension to work toward a regional wastewater project in potential partnership with Ione and the Department of Corrections. The council also approved extension of a contract with hydroscience engineers for $36,000 to complete the wastewater master plans for the city and for Amador Regional Sanitation Authority. City Manager Sean Rebay said ARSA must also approve the extension, but if members did not give it the okay, the city would still pay the $4,000 or so extra, which members would pay in their fair share. He said the city, as an ARSA member, would already be paying 85% of the contract, and Rebay said the contract increase was needed because of required meetings that were not known when the contract was made. Potential regional meetings with CDCR and the City of Ione were not anticipated. And the city started the meetings to discuss a regional wastewater plant 2 years ago and got nowhere. He said the city has been meeting with Ione, and those meetings have gone strikingly well considering where we were a year ago. Rebay said we need somebody at those meetings. Councilman Jim Swift wanted people to know that we're not chasing rainbows and are working on realistic endeavors. Rebay said it would be much better for ARSA and the city to be involved in the discussions. Swift said the city is facing $15 million in improvements at Henderson Reservoir, the sewer system storage pond, and that's just to continue using the city's wastewater system as it is. If they partner with Ione, they can eliminate the requirement to repair Henderson Reservoir. Swift said it should be clear that it is beneficial to the city. In public comment, Mimi Arata said she was excited about the possibilities of a regional plant and asked what it would cost the city. And Rebay said it was too soon to know, but if the agreement did do away with Henderson, it does away with a significant amount of city storage, and they would need to build additional storage. The Amador Fire Protection District Board of Directors on Tuesday approved a preliminary budget totaling $2.9 million for the coming fiscal year. The budget included $1.4 million in salaries and benefits and $809,000 in services and supplies. AFPD Chief Jim McCart presented the budget, excluding funds for the Amador plan, saying Amador County Administrative Officer Chuck Eiley had no direction yet on the contract with CAL FIRE. McCart said last year's amount is known, and he plugged in $250,000 into the preliminary budget. He said Eiley was not sure of the board's direction at this time and asked to put in the final number at the final budget hearing, which the board set for 1:30 p.m. Tuesday, September 11th. Supervisor Vice Chairman Richard Forrester said the reason is the county is waiting on state budget, which has language for basic aid repairs and renewed funding for Amador County. The budget is awaiting the governor's signature. Supervisor Louis Boitano said legislators haven't figured out how to take care of $250 million. And McCart said the Measure M and Proposition 172 fund balance was at $180,000. Measure M revenue totaled $2 million, and the AFPD's share was $879,000. Budget revenue included contract service with Sutter Creek of $200,000 and Plymouth for $32,000, part of $1.3 million in total additional funding revenue. Plass said the budget reserves and fund balance are not in sync, and the budget consumes a considerable portion of the fund balance. McCart said reserves cancel that out. He said we had $1.6 million in reserves last year untouched, so we'll pull into this year with the same reserves. McCart said salaries and benefits were for 15 paid positions, including 5 firefighters, 9 engineers, and 1 chief. 1 position was vacated and they didn't plan to fill it. They have 5 days a week, staffing 45 hours a week. In Sutter Creek, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Mace Meadow Station will have 1 engineer who will be by himself on one of 3 undetermined shifts. Plass asked about $715,000 for fixed assets for 2 engines and a vehicle. McCart said he would surplus a 1984 Freightliner. They purchased 3 new 1992, and they're going past the 20-year age, but do not have a lot of miles on them. And McCart said the jurisdiction does not have a great flow for structure fires, and it helps AFPD maintain the ISO rating when they can transport water to structure fire locations and maintain 250 gallons a minute flows. He said newer tankers are quicker but hold less water. Current water tenders pump 100 gallons a minute, but he said they can get new ones that pump 1,000 gallons a minute and act as a fire engine. Sutter Creek City Council on Monday awarded a $1.6 million contract to realign Prospect Drive with Bowers Drive on Sutter Hill. The council followed City Engineer Gary Gaio's recommendation to award the Prospect Drive realignment project to George Reed Construction for his winning bid of $1.6 million, edging out Vince Aguirre Construction's $1.7 million and Doug Verkamp's bid of $1.9 million. The project will build a new intersection to align Bowers Drive with a newly built extension of Prospect Drive to make a T intersection. The project funding through Amador County Transportation Commission's Regional Traffic Mitigation Fee Program will run short of paying for the signalization of the intersection. Councilman Tim Murphy said ACTC and the Regional Traffic Mitigation Fee Program have approved a loan to the city to complete the signalization, but ACTC Executive Director Charles Field must go to member entities of ATCA, make that ACTC, to get their approval. And Senator Gaio, in public comment, former Councilman Pat Crosby said the realignment project has been in the works for a long time, and the drugstore has labored under really trying conditions to try to get people in and out of Walgreens. And they opened at the corner of Ridge Road and Highway 49 in August of 2010. Crosby said Walgreens has been an anchor of the mall, and he did not know where the grocery store was that also planned a franchise there. And the council voted 4-0 to authorize City Manager Sean Rebay to sign a contract and award the bid to George Reed Construction. And in the Upcountry Community Council last week discussed fire insurance issues and impacts. Lynn Morgan, chairwoman of the Upcountry Community Council, said about 20 people attended the regular UCC meeting Monday, June 11th, and most of the people came to talk about fire insurance. Guest speaker, Amador Fire Protection District Battalion Chief 10, Dave Bellevere, talked about the Insurance Service Office, or the ISO, rating system and potential effects of the fire insurance rates. He said the independent office was set up to do analysis of fire risk factors. Morgan said one of the conclusions of the evening was that the ISO is not even used by some insurance companies in determining fire insurance costs. Morgan said State Farm Insurance is one such company. Guest speaker Ann Lintz, an agent with State Farm Insurance, did not say what specific criteria State Farm uses to determine fire insurance costs. She said it's up to the individual companies to determine their own criteria, and the last ISO update for the Upcountry area was in 2004. Morgan said Bellevere said the fire department itself updates the ISO ratings every 2 years, and the UCC's fire committee heard Rich Farrington invited insurance agent Robert Manacero to report on the industry, and Morgan said he talked about the Amador Water Agency and some debts they have, and said they are still hoping to get moving forward with the gravity supply line. Morgan said it was discussed frankly that the ratings have to do with how close your home sits to a fire hydrant or a fire station. They also discussed looking at an increase in the number of hydrants and how it could change insurance. Lynn said it's only one of several factors and costs are pretty stable right now, but it's not a good time to be shopping for fire insurance. The Upcountry Community Council last week also talked about a plan to report the Amador County Supervisors in regard to the proposed Buckhorn Town Center, which is now part of the draft amended county general plan. Morgan said the council invited all 64 property owners within the boundaries of the proposed Buckhorn Town Center to come to a potluck dinner at the July UCC meeting. She said most important thing about the community input is getting people involved, and that potluck meeting is at 6 to 8 p.m. Monday, July 9th at the Veterans Memorial Hall on Buckhorn Ridge Road in Pioneer. And Amador County Supervisors last week said the libraries in the Upcountry would stay open, though hours would be reduced in the new fiscal year budget approved by the board in the public comment. And Christian McGee asked about library closures Upcountry. She said library computers help people find jobs. Supervisor Chairman Louis Boitano said Pioneer and Pine Grove libraries would not be closed, but hours would be reduced. County Administrative Officer Chuck Eiley said the Upcountry library operations would drop to 9 hours a week. McGee asked if they had any discussions about what supervisors could do to increase revenues to the county and not just make cuts. And Eiley said, we constantly look at increased revenues. He said he told department heads to reach a certain number for their budget, and they could reach that number by either cutting costs or increasing revenues. He said there's only so many fees you can put on users before you eliminate that use. Supervisor Vice Chairman Richard Forrester said we are in the mode of cutting right now, and none of us on the board think that the economy will rebound in the next couple of years. Revenues keep diminishing every year, and our revenue is primarily tax dollars. Stay with us. When I come back from the other side of the break, we'll have our interview with Jared Critchfield. He's a principal at Amador High School. You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, TSPN. Hi, Amador County, and welcome back. Let's take a look at our weather for today. It's supposed to be really hot today, but we're going to be cooling down tomorrow. So today we're looking for a high of 94 with a low of 58. Winds west-northwest 5 to 8 miles an hour. On Thursday, sunny high of 87, low of 53. Winds west-southwest 5 to 8 miles an hour. And on Friday, a little cooler with a sunny high of 78 with a low of 51. Air quality index report unhealthy today for sensitive groups at 101 and moderate on Thursday at 74. In our road reports, 4988 in Jackson, that's right across the street from the fire station. Southbound number 2 lane, slow lane, will be closed Wednesday, June 20th in front of the public restrooms. They're working on manholes there. And on Highway 88 from Amador's San Joaquin County line to Highway 124, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday through Friday, June 20th through the 22nd. 20-minute delays, one-way traffic control for slope clearing. And on Highway 49, Main Street, Matley Street to Hoffman Street, southbound, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wednesday, June 20th. November 2nd, make that number, it's 2 of 5 lanes, left shoulder work. I didn't know we had any 5 lanes anyway here. Anyway, Highway 49, Vera Ranch Road to China Street, 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Thursday, June 21st. 5-minute delays for utility work, and that's it for that. And I'm going to say goodbye right here on TSPN.